It's go time. Welcome to the show. It's go time. The ultimate podcast for salespeople, sales managers, and entrepreneurs that are in the trenches. All right. And I'm your host, Pat Holder. Welcome to the show. So what we're going to do on the next few episodes, something really cool, is we're going to be talking about millionaire sales habits. Sales habits that when you get grooved in over a long period of time and you work them to death, it'll guarantee you millionaire status over a period of time. Okay. And so there's a really cool quote that I love to think about sometimes. It's like, hey, your first million can be really hard. Your first million can be very, very challenging, but your second million is going to be inevitable. And really what I get out of that is like, hey, because you get the habits grooved in on your first million, and then it's just they're grooved in and you're kind of coasting to the next one because you've got the know-how, right? You've got the work ethic and you've got the right habits in place that'll guarantee you that second. So love thinking about that. But this, we do a quote every single episode, and this episode we're going to be doing a quote from a book, No Excuses, from Brian Tracy. I've been on a Brian Tracy kick recently, and you should be on a Brian Tracy kick as well. Nothing but sales and how to be a better person and show up for your prospects in a better way. So he's got books and books and books on that. So, but on this page, it's just page 6 and 7 here on the book, No Excuses. And he said, the most important success principle of all was stated by Elbert Hubbard, one of the most prolific writers in American history at the beginning of the 20th century. He said, self-discipline is the ability to do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. Right? There are 999 other success principles that I've found in my reading and experience. But without self-discipline, none of them work. With self-discipline, they all work. Thus, self-discipline is the key to personal greatness. It is the magic quality that opens all doors for you and makes everything else possible. With self-discipline, the average person can rise as far and as fast as his talents and intelligence can take him or her. Right? But without self-discipline, a person with every blessing of background, education, and opportunity will seldom rise above mediocrity. So I love that. Self-discipline is the key to personal greatness. It is the magic quality that opens all doors for you and makes everything else possible. What an amazing, amazing quote right there by Mr. Brian Tracy. So, what does that mean? If you're looking for the secret sauce, let's start with getting the self-discipline down. And that leads us to our first habit that we're going to be talking about on this series. And it has to do with self-discipline. And it's making a schedule that'll guarantee you success and then maintaining that schedule at all cost, regardless of the distractions or what you're feeling. And so because there's all kinds of things that come up in the sales arena, really just kind of erode or try to erode at our self-discipline. We have to be the counteract to that. All right. Very few people are, I don't know if anybody's born with it, but like it is really hard unless you are aware and take action steps towards it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's how to counteract that. So you must create a schedule that'll guarantee you success. We're going to call it a production power schedule, a production power schedule. So some schedule that you can commit to that will guarantee your success over a long period of time. So you should probably know this offhand. And, if you've got something set at your work right now, you need to make sure that you add a little on both sides because it's about doing extra, especially in a commission sales position. So you must create a power schedule. So if you listen to episode 1 and 2, we're talking about interviewing people around you that are on your sales team. Hey, what's the schedule that's going to guarantee me success? And that might be the power schedule. We're not going to talk too much on the power schedule here on this. We're going to do another episode on that at some point in time. You must have a production priority. You must have an income priority. And so this schedule must be geared around that. All right. So some sort of schedule that'll guarantee success now and long term. Okay. So what's interesting is that sales offer, it's a blessing and a curse, this sales career that we've chosen to do because of the flexibility that it often gives us. All right. The flexibility obviously gives us all kinds of blessings. Oh, and the income potential as well. Obviously, those are blessings, but they can be curses as well. And they can deter us and erode at our self-discipline. All right. So let me explain by that. All right. Because of our flexibility. So maybe let's just say, you're just starting off And it's like, okay, go kill it today. Come back and tell me what happened. Or maybe you don't have a lot of eyes on you at all. Maybe, because we're not really micromanaged too much in the sales arena, which is a beautiful thing. Hey, let me go do my thing. But you must micromanage yourself because, somebody has to, unless you're producing at a ridiculously high level. All right. So it's a lot of times it's an out of sight, out of mind. Maybe you don't even check in with your sales manager for the last week. Maybe it's been a month. Who knows? But there's a tremendous amount of independence when it comes to our job. And now, especially if you're killing it, it's going to be an out of sight or out of mind. Oh, Kevin's killing it. So, he can do what he wants. Well, when we don't have a lot of eyeballs on us, a lot of times now there's outside forces that come in, and now our self-discipline, whether we're finishing the day the way we should, sometimes gets eroded, and sometimes we don't do those things because we take advantage maybe by ending our day early, maybe ending our week early, maybe showing up a little later than we should, maybe playing around on social media a little bit more than we should, especially during the day. Like if you're rocking and rolling and going on sales appointments and you want to lose some energy and confidence, just jump on some social media. The other thing that can deter us is unplanned time off. This is a killer. We're going to talk about this. And then just in general, we naturally start cutting corners as the more freedom that we get. It's very, very strange. All right. I played both sides of the coin to this. And, there's like kind of a good feeling with like, ooh, I'm just going to see what I can get away with here. It's kind of like the kids testing the parents. It's like, ooh, like, how late can I stay out before I get grounded? Or it could be the new, you get a new teacher and it's like, ooh, what can I get away with this teacher? And it can be the same thing in your sales job. We're just naturally going to try to probe and figure out what we can get away with. And so be very, very careful with that. All right. You might not be consciously doing it, but I guarantee you're doing it or have done it in the past, unless you've already addressed this in yourself. That's what we're going to be talking about now. So because this could be extremely dangerous. So I used to think that hey, even though I hit my quota or, a good number on Monday, if I showed up late and could still do that, then I'm winning. But hey, by showing up late, that's not a very good habit to get into because the only person you're hurting is yourself. You're hurting yourself and your future. Okay. So really, really take note of hey, what am I doing throughout the day that I'm taking advantage of my schedule? Okay. So the first thing you want to do is obviously create your power schedule. Maybe you already have that in place. Hopefully you do. But at the end of the day, you need to take a second look and hey, does my schedule on a 7-week basis, does this promote high production? Does this promote a high income for myself, for you? Okay. And if it's not a hell yes, then let's take another look and see what can guarantee you that. Okay. So you've got your power schedule. All right. And you want to maintain and remain firm on this regardless of your emotions, regardless of your production, and regardless of outside influences, because these will tempt you like no other. And you must remain strong. You must remain strong. So the first thing is emotions, because we get beat up out there, on a week-to-week basis. That's why you have high commissions. All right. Because our job can be hard. But I don't care who you are, you do not wake up every single day at 110% saying, I'm going to go get it today. I love it. It's just impossible. We're human beings. But there's emotions out there. It's like, oh man, I don't feel like it today. Or you're just getting beat up out there and metaphorically, and it's just getting so hard that I'm just going to throw in the towel today. I'm going to call my week early. I'm going to, I didn't want that promotion anyways, right? We start throwing some stuff away we'll just get it tomorrow. We'll get it next week because no one's answering your phone, or, all the B-backs and all the appointments that you're setting, they're brushing you off or blowing you off or just not showing up or not being there, or every single deal that you get to the close, then you get a close and boom, it doesn't go down. And then you get finally another presentation, and then you get to the close and then, it doesn't go down. Oh my gosh. And then another time happens like that. Oh my God. It feels like the world is burning. Maybe you're in that exact situation right now. And so all these forces are coming against us that really kind of drag us down sometimes, but you must remain firm. The other one that really can destroy our confidence and take our emotions down a peg or two is that if somebody calls and cancels, okay, on whatever deal that you're in, whether it's solar, car sales, real estate, insurance, whatever it is, pest control, that somebody can call and cancel. All right. Oh my gosh, I've been working on that deal for a month. I spent so many hours sitting down with that person trying to help them out. And they said they wanted it more than anything. And then they called the next day and canceled. And so a lot of adversities can happen, but you must remain strong no matter what. And the crazy thing about sales is it just seems that when it rains, it pours. When everything's going good, we don't really notice it too much. We're like, man, everything, I'm killing it. I'm amazing. But when everything's going bad, it's like, man, could it get any worse? Okay. So at this point, when you're feeling all these emotions and all this negativity, there's going to be some situations to where you're going to want to cut corners. Okay. Oh, I'm just going to get it tomorrow. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go I'm going to go hang out with some friends because, I'll just feel better when I do that. Okay. But hey, if you've set a schedule and it's 5 o'clock, but your power schedule is till 7, do not fall to the temptation. Okay. Do not fall to the temptation and finish your day on the commitment that you made to yourself. Oh, but no one's going to know if I go home. You will. You'll know. And that's really the only person that matters when it comes to this thing, because you're building an internal resume with yourself. So what internal resume are you building with yourself? Are you finishing your days no matter what's going on out there? Or are we cutting loose? Okay, I've played both sides of the coin here, man. I'm telling you that, hey, finishing your days are the way to do it. So don't cut corners when you're getting beat up out there. Okay, the other thing is going to be production. So obviously, we're going to be beat up if we're not having a great day or a great week or a great month or a great quarter or whatever your situation is. Okay, but you must keep going no matter what. From Think and Grow Rich here, there's a story in there and it's 3 feet from gold. 3 feet from gold. Most of you guys are probably familiar with that story, but at the end of the day, it was this gold mining company that spent a long time and tons of money looking for a vein of gold to where, it's going to be the biggest vein they've ever seen, and they just keep working, keep pouring money into it, no returns. And then one day, they want to quit, but they keep going. They want to quit and keep going. And then finally they're like, you know what? We're done with this. There's nothing here. And so what they did is they sold their equipment, and I believe they sold their property rights for way less than all they spent on that stuff. And they just washed their hands clean and said, I'm good to go. Now, the person that bought it, all right, they got the equipment running again, and 3 feet from where that previous company had stopped, they found a little bit of gold. And what that gold led to was the biggest vein of gold that was known at that time in North America. Okay, so they were 3 feet from gold. And if they would have just kept going, they would have hit that. So what I'm saying here is if you're not having a very good production week or a production day or a production month, okay, keep going, because you may and probably are very, very close from that next person that's going to make your day, make your week, prospect that's going to make your day, make your week, make your quarter, or what have you. Okay. And because how good do we feel when we push through and it works out? Okay. If you've been in sales for a little bit of time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, oh man, I almost went home. Like, oh my gosh, I almost didn't call that person. So there's all kind, and that's where the money's at. I'm telling you right now, you want to make some extra income, stick to your schedule no matter what your production is. Okay, because you want to make your crap week into a good week. So even if it's, let's just say your goal is 10 units and you're sitting at 0 units going into Friday, instead of going home, you scoop up 2 units on Friday. That is a gigantic 2-unit sale right there, because the momentum that it carries you into the next week. Because what are you telling yourself all weekend long is that, hey, you know what? I went through a lot of crap this week, but I finished my freaking week and I got a sale out of it. It was a tiny one, right? Or whatever. It could be a big one, right? A lot of times it is. All right. But you turn your crap week into a good week. That is a phenomenal habit to get into. So no matter what happens, okay, keep going no matter what. Okay. Now, the flip side of that is if you're having a great week. So having a great week actually can lower your standard as time goes on, right? So let's again with the example of 10 units. So you have 10 units and you sold 10 units by Tuesday. And then you're like, oh man, I got my number for my week. Like, I'm good to go. I'm going to take the rest of Tuesday off and then maybe take the rest of the week off. All right. Be very, very careful on what happens to your schedule after you hit a high production. Okay. So no matter what, whether you're having a great week, whether you're having a crap week, it doesn't matter. Maintain your schedule, maintain that energy and that high version of yourself so you can keep showing up. Okay. You need to be emotionless when this happens, because I promise you, your foot will get taken off the gas at some point in time. All right. Let's just say your goal is 10 units and you write 30 by Wednesday. How intentional are you going to be right there? Oh my God, I've made more money than I ever had in 3 days. Lay it on, baby. Lay it on thick. Keep it going. All right. Because you are on fire. Okay. You are on fire. You're hot, because it just so happens that the sales are going to be easier. You just are showing up with phenomenal energy. When you're hot, you're hot. And so the easiest sale to make, as Brian Tracy says in one of his books, don't have it in front of me, but what he says is that the easiest sale is right after a sale. Okay. So let's just say you're at the tail end of your week and you hit your quota, but you still got a little bit of time left, or maybe you're just going extra. It's shoot till you miss. Keep getting prospects or keep sitting down or talking to prospects until you go through a full presentation and then you don't write somebody. Okay, that's so crazy. What happens sometimes is that you'll just keep bouncing along from sale. Oh my God, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. It's getting late. Hey, you know what? I'm just going to shoot till I miss. All right, just keep going and magic really happens. I made tens and tens of thousands of dollars doing that one thing when I'm tired, I'm dirty, I'm stinky. You know, I need to re-up on some deodorant, but I'm going to keep going. So shoot till you miss. And the other thing is, when you're on fire, you have zero commission breath. You have zero commission breath, meaning that the client can sense that you need a sale right now. You're like, hey, it don't matter to me if you get this truck or that truck. It don't matter to me. They're all good trucks. And they're like, okay, I'll do that one. Boom. Well, it's because you have some great energy and they can sense that you don't need to make a sale. So Jocko Willink, if you don't listen to his podcast, a great podcast on leadership and things of that nature. He's an ex-Navy SEAL commander. And one thing he said in his podcast was intent stinks, or intent has a smell, or something of that nature. And so if your intention is just to make money off this person and you have to make money right now, they can sense that. I don't care what their intelligence level is or what their IQ is. A human being can sense that when there's some, okay, I'm just trying to get a deal out of you. And if you've been in sales for a long time, whether you mean to or not, you've made somebody feel that way. All right. So when you're on fire, keep on going. All right. So what's the habit that you're grooving into yourself in your deal when you're on fire? What's the habit that you're grooving into your deal, into your schedule when you're not feeling it and when you're just getting beat up out there and when you're not making some sales? Okay. Because this is a habit that you get into. Okay. I have a habit of finishing my weeks no matter what. I have a habit of continuing to rock and roll when things are great. I have a habit of finishing if I'm not producing at a high level. Okay, so what habits are we grooving in? Just something to think about. Okay, so next thing is going to be outside forces. This is going to be something that is an absolute killer if you're not looking into it, if you're not conscious of it. So outside can be friends, family, it could be circumstances, but anything that's really just kind of unplanned. We can talk about social media, different distractions. You know, we travel a lot for work. So what do we put in front of our schedule sometimes? We put in our oil changes in front of that. We put haircuts in front of that. We do car washes in front of that. We put laundry in front of that. We put, I got to go to this one coffee shop or food place that's out of the way before I hit the road. You know, we put some things in front of that before we hit the road. That's our deal. But what are you putting in front of your schedule? All right, that takes you away from production hours to where you can catch some momentum. Are you taking hey, before I pick up the phone or before I go to my next appointment, I have to get some coffee. I have to get my Egg McMuffin sandwich. Well, if you're late, then you must maintain your schedule. Okay. So that's what I'm saying is little things take us off of take us away from our schedule if we're not aware of it. All right. There's other things like, let's just say it's Friday, and there's combinations of these too, where I've had a productive week and it's Friday afternoon or Friday at noon, right? And you get a call or a text from a buddy. Hey, we got 3 for golf. We need a 4th. You available? It's like, well, here's the thing is they probably know that your schedule is flexible. So they know you're available, and they may be tightening the vice grips to get you to go play. What's your schedule? What are you committed to? Okay. So unless it's a planned deal, hey, if you plan to do that, no problem. Okay. But what I'm talking about is unplanned things that take you away and steal your confidence and steal your self-discipline. Okay. What things are we putting in front of that? Okay. Oh, but my cousin's in town for the first time in 6 months. It's like, was it planned? Was it planned or not? So we just got to be aware of these sacrifices that we're making. Okay, because if you sacrifice your schedule enough times, it starts becoming a habit. So we need to be very, very aware of like, and right now you're probably just, oh my God, there's all kinds of things I'm putting in front of my stuff. I know, like when I first started, I was putting anything and everything in front of production. Like if I could get away with it, I was getting away with it. And then what I came to realize, I guess after I matured a little bit, stopped being a little boy, was like, hey, I need to be serious about this. I need to be serious about my production. I need to be serious about my income. And then I started grooving in these things. And then all of a sudden my confidence went up. Like I actually loved talking to people. Like I showed up pretty much every damn day as like the highest version of myself. Cause I'm like, man, I keep finishing stuff. I keep finishing my weeks. I'm killing it. So you must do these things, because this right here, by letting outside forces steal away from your schedule, whether it's at the beginning of your day, at the end of the day, or in the middle of the day. Okay. Maybe you're sitting on the phone with, cousin Jimmy, just shooting the stuff. Call him after work. Okay. If it's production hours, you're stealing from your future and you're losing momentum. So be very, very careful. Now, this is super important, but like barred emergencies and like super special events and stuff like that, obviously do those things. All right. But I'm just saying there are some willy-nilly things that you and I put in front of our schedule that steal away from our self-discipline and away from our income. Okay. So you need to be 100% honest with yourself. You need to look yourself in the mirror and be honest about this thing and be transparent with yourself. Okay. Because if you're not, really cognizant about this, you are losing sales, you are losing momentum, and you are losing confidence. Okay. Because deep down, you are cutting corners. Deep down, that you're not getting your everything. Maybe it's just 15 minutes of social media here or there. But I promise you, if you put that thing away and you continue to call, it's like boom, boom, boom. Because if you keep doing these things over and over and over again, you're telling yourself that I am doing extra, I am doing more, I am self-disciplined, so I deserve to get more out of my business and out of my company. Okay, so you need to ask yourself is, what am I putting in front of my success? What am I putting in front of my future? And you want to list these things out. Okay. You want to list these things out. Now, a lot of these are just going to be little. I don't know if I should even put that. You should put that. You should put that little thing, because little things end up being huge things over a long period of time. Okay. So they're very, very important. Now we had this is going to be some homework for you, is list out these things. What are you putting in front of your power production schedule? What kind of distractions? Maybe throw it in the comments here. What little things are you doing right here? Maybe you're purposefully driving to the other side of town to get lunch so you can have a little bit extra of a lunch hour, or whatever. Like little things, but they end up being big things. Like if you're straight commission sales and you got a lunch break, you should be taking lunch in like 12 minutes. Like just shove that sandwich down and keep on rocking. Okay. So because your income is determined on how you show up and how often you show up, and if you keep showing up no matter what. So you got to get in the habit of maintaining your schedule no matter what. All right. No matter what you're feeling on your emotions, no matter what your production is, good or bad, and regardless of the outside influences that are just increasing as time goes on, it seems like. We're in the era of distraction. All right. So you must remain undistracted, okay, during your production and income hours. Okay. Because you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. Because when you stay in the game like this, what happens is you create and you start to fortify this fantastic habit that grows self-discipline, self-confidence. And what it does also is it increases your bandwidth so it can be easier to say no to those other things. Okay. One of the most successful people that I know in my space when I was going to college with him is, he said no to a lot of things on Friday and Saturdays. And I always thought it was weird. Okay. Be very wary of this, as you're going through your deal. Is he was doing the right thing. He was saying no because I have to study, no because I have to, pack flyers and do this for my business. And we're like, oh man, come on, man. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, you're going to get this. You're going to get this when you start saying no to things. You're going to get this. Here's a warning. You're going to get it. And I didn't get it at the time. See, I was on the opposite side of the fence at that time. And I was like, oh, man, come on, man. Like, if you got time. Like, we know you got time. And he's like, no, man, I must do this. And then eventually, what we started doing is like, hey, can you make it? No, you can't. Okay, all right, cool. Because you got to do your thing. So eventually what happens is your friends and family are going to get the gist too. But when you start down this track, it might be a little bit more difficult. You might get a little bit of friction from the people around you. And that's okay, because you need to do what you need to do to get to where you want to go. So very, very important that you do this, but it gets easier and easier and easier. All right. You're going to grow your confidence, right? Because you did what you said you're going to do. You're going to grow your fulfillment and your income because you're getting better results and you're starting to see progress. So the main point of all this is be rigid with your power production schedule. Be rigid now so you can be completely free in the future. Okay, be rigid now with your schedule, because at some point in time in the future, you continue this deal, then you will be completely free. Okay, so that's all we had for today. Thanks for sticking around. I hope this helps you. All right, my name is Pat Holder, and it is go time.